Shalom. First and foremost, I want to give all the glory and all the honor and all the praise to Yahweh, by Hashem, Yahawashi. Today, brothers and sisters, we just going to get into some current world events that been going on. You know, we got the thing over there in the Ukraine with Russia. You know, then you got Taiwan and China. They stirring up beef. You know, and you know, you got these you got these Edomite analysts, you know, that's on YouTube, you know, telling what's gonna happen, man.
Yep.
You know, the mainstream media is just feeding everybody a bunch of bull.
Yep.
You know, people that's really getting the true story from YouTubers and, you know, these outside news stations telling you the real thing that's going on, man.
That's
Ukraine
right.
getting demolished.
Yep.
Ukraine is getting stomped like an ant under the foot, man,
Yeah.
of Russia right now. But let them tell it that Ukraine blowing up Russian military sites, doing all this type of stuff, man. Where the proof at? Show it.
Man.
You know, they not showing you nothing. They ain't showing you nothing but putting some numbers up on the screen, man. And that place is getting destroyed, man. Russia by now has full control of that place right now, whether you believe it or not.
Yep. We sure do. We're going to bring it out. This is Joel chapter 3, starting at verse 9. Proclaim ye this among the Gentiles, prepare war, wake up the mighty men, and let all the men of war draw near, let them come up. Beat your plowshares into swords, and your pruning hooks into spears. Let the weak say, I am strong. Assemble yourselves and come, all ye heathen, and gather yourselves together round about. Thither cause thy mighty ones to come down, O Lord. Let the heathen be wakened and come up to the valley of Jehoshaphat.
That's right, man.
For there will I judge all the heathen round about.
And that's what you see, man. You see prophecy unfolded right now, here today. The Most High is gathering these nations, man.
Yep.
And he's doing it, he's taking small steps at a time. But he's discombobulating these leaders, and he's causing them to make moves that, like you just said earlier, the brother, like, these analysts can't believe the type of moves that some of these countries is doing right now.
Yep.
Because you know, what it is just leading them to destruction.
Yep.
But that's it, like I say, that's the Most High up there with the strings, like the puppet master, guiding these countries, these leaders to do what he want them to do, man, in order for a prophet to fulfill. The Most High say his word shall not come back void. And we know, we believe in the Most High, so whatever he say, it's gonna happen, man. He's gonna gather these nations in the end, and when he gather them, he's gonna destroy them. All at once, with a breath out of his mouth, like the scriptures say.
Yep.
He's gonna destroy them all. So you can around here trying to seize little pieces of land like the Ukraine, the U.S. over there fighting for the same piece of land. Y'all can have all that.
Yep.
You know, because whenever Yahawashi return, which is the Son of the Heavenly Father, he's gonna destroy all that and take it back from you. He's gonna take it back with the breath out of his mouth, man.
Yep.
That's what he's gonna do. Thus said the Lord.
That's right. And the brother talking about the different sources, I'm gonna tell you the two ones to follow. One is Scott Ritter, which that's hard to follow because his page, he streams his interviews and his talking points, but he got to take it down after a while because they'll ban his stuff. So if you subscribe to his channel, he'll have like a live stream going for like 8 hours, but it's just a repeat of what he's talking about, but then he'll take it down when it's over. So what you do, you just follow it. If you get an alert and you're free, you're chilling, you ain't got nothing else to do, just listen to his little live stream. He's gonna break down what's going on with NATO versus basically Russia and China. And then another good page to follow is Redacted. Redacted. R-E-D-A-C-T-E-D. Redacted. They go into everything and they basically bring out sources and showing you what's going on. And they do it in such a way that it's hard for YouTube to ban it. They're very good at like presenting the information in such a way that it's hard for them to get pushed off of YouTube. They're called Redacted. It's like a husband and wife couple, and they go into different sources like every day. It's a big channel. So y'all definitely want to subscribe to that if you want to know what's going on the geopolitics level. But like the brother said, Russia and Ukraine situation is pretty much a done deal. Right. Russia done stomped out the Ukraine military. They're just not telling anybody. And so what's happening is Russia's basically dividing up areas of the country that they want for themselves, that they probably going to either hold as bargaining chips or for their own resources. And because of that, because of the energy crisis in Europe, this could have jacked up stuff with the food supply, because much of the food in the world, the wheat grain, a disproportionate amount of the wheat comes from 3 countries, Russia, Ukraine, and Belarus.
Yep.
And Belarus is an ally of Russia.
Not only that, a large portion of fertilizer comes from that area,
That's
which
right.
you need to grow these vegetables and fruits,
That's right.
which is going to add on to the famine, because they better get the fertilizer.
Yep. And then you got the gas line. The gas line for Europe comes from Russia.
Yep.
And Russia could just turn it off and just have the whole Western Europe in a cold winter with no heat.
Right.
So what's happening is the Most High set it up that Russia got like a trump card over NATO-based countries. And this is probably going to be one of the reasons why NATO, the European nations, are eventually going to have to come together and agree to turn on Babylon, which is the whore that sitteth on the beast, which, Lord willing, we're going to get into a lot of the Book of Revelation stuff. But that's why they're going to be convinced eventually through the frustration and through the various councils, and with Russia basically pulling the strings with those, being able to control a lot of what's going on in Europe, they're going to have to, the beast shall hate the whore. And they're going to have to turn on Babylon, which is the one that's been going out, being used to cause all this madness.
That's right, man.
And they're eventually going to have to do it because they don't want to pass away. They don't want to perish. So that's how, when you read the prophecies concerning Gog and Magog, that's how you know that the Most High is going to raise them up to have a level of power in the last days.
That's right, man.
And that's what they're worried about. And remember, we talked about it before. If you go to one of the lessons, I showed you that when the Russian soldiers was getting ready to go to Ukraine and fight, the Russian military was giving the soldiers pamphlets, letting them know that they were stopping the New World Order. In the pamphlets, like this, what you're doing is going to stop the New World Order.
Yep.
That America's an evil, and that they must be stopped, and they're trying to enslave the world through what they're doing. And what you're doing is a righteous cause, basically a divine will of God for you to stop evil on the earth. So they already got their mind set up that they got to stop Babylon, and Russia and China then linked up together. They got the BRICS nations, and now Saudi Arabia is trying to join BRICS. You got other nations that are trying to join in on the BRICS nations to have their own separate monetary system to go against the system that NATO-based countries, including the U.S., wants to set up, which is their digital currency system.
They trying to separate themselves already from this place, man.
Yep.
This is the book of Obadiah, chapter 1 and verse 7. All the men of thy confederacy have brought thee even to thy border. The men that were at peace with thee have deceived thee and prevailed against thee. They that eat thy bread have laid a wound under thee. There is none understanding in him. So all thee that are confederate with thee, are going to turn against thee, man.
Yep.
And run you up out of your land, all your territories that you have.
Yep.
They're going to run you up out of there, man. Thus said the Lord.
Y'all going to have to go to a lot of the Edomites and be in these other countries. Y'all going to have to run to y'all's U.S. embassy to get flown out.
Yep.
Because everybody's going to be like, get these Americans, get these Europeans
if
out
they're
here.
going to be allowed to do that.
Yeah, they probably ain't going to be able to get out.
These countries, when they get planned to do that, it's going to have something that's going to happen abruptly and quick, man.
Yep.
You know why? Because the Most High is guiding these people, man.
Right.
The Most High going to get the upper hand before everything.
Right.
Before he going to have these folks way ahead of the game when they get ready to make their chess move on America, man.
Yep. And that's why, in fact, we'll get this real quick. This is Isaiah chapter 13 and verse 13. Therefore I will shake the heavens, and the earth shall remove out of her place in the wrath of the Lord of hosts, in the day of his anger, in the day of his fierce anger. And it shall be as the chase roe, as a sheep that no man taketh up. They shall every man turn to his own people, and flee everyone into his own land. So Most High, I set it up to where these nations, they just got to go their own way. There's not gonna be no sitting at the table negotiating. And all these other nations, they're tired of like being under the hegemony of these Edomites, man. The younger generation and the ones that are ruling now, they're not like their forefathers from 60, 70 years ago when colonialism was at its peak, prior to World War II, where they had to bow down, they had to go to the League of Nations. Right now, they got to go to the United Nations. And then now, with the rise of China and people seeing, wait, these people were just rice farmers. They didn't have no cars 30 years ago. Now they're up. Wait, why do we need to continue listening to the West? When we can actually just go to China, we can go to Russia, we can get what we need. We can get what we need, and we can basically be safe away from the control of the West.
That's right.
So now everybody's kind of jockeying positions to basically pull away from the dollar. Right now the dollar is very strong, but it's a very deceptive thing, because the dollar actually got stronger since the war had happened with the Ukraine and Russia. But guess what? Russia's currency also went like into an all-time high, and they're stacking up gold as a hedge against their stuff, and they're trying to make all these other countries back up their valuables, their currency based on natural resources, which is something that the West doesn't want, because NATO, all the European countries don't produce nothing.
That's right, man.
They don't produce nothing but freaking debt. With their banking systems and with their colonial satellites that they have in these other countries, that's the reason why they're still able to run. That's going to go away. Russia can turn Europe, the rest of Europe, into a third world country overnight just by cutting off their gas supply. Go ahead, Al.
It's the book of Isaiah, chapter 14 and verse 10. All they shall speak and say unto thee, art thou also become weak as we? Art thou become like unto us? All these other nations gonna say to America, look, you ain't as strong as you really think you is. You know, like you got, like the brother just said, China rising up in power. You got Russia being up in power. So, and you got these other countries that's rising up in power, Iran. You know, they looking at America like, hey, you ain't gonna be the bully on the block no more, man. You know, you looking weak, like you say that we were so weak. Now you ain't looking so strong. You know, and they gonna be ready to take down this place, man. You know, once you build that, once you don't have that fear no more, you're ready to do anything. You know, you're ready to do anything, man. And they gonna all put their money on the table, man, behind Russia. They gonna join with Russia.
That's right. It tells you that, and we can get that in Ezekiel 39. And when you go into like this week, this news, they just reported that Turkey, which is also technically a NATO country, which is actually separating itself from NATO, they just got more S-300s and S-400s from Russia, which is basically those defense missile systems. So they're ready to they're pulling back even more from NATO just by dealing with Russia. And Saudi Arabia's pulling away from America too, and is dealing with Russia right now. Y'all could Google the articles about how the partnership is going higher with Russia, between Russia and Saudi Arabia.
They not gonna roll with the weaker nation, man. They rolling with the one who look like he got the power and the strength right now. And that's what they doing, and it's looking like Russia. They're seeing an opportunity to get away from the American control. That's right. And they're seeing that Russia, backed up by China, is strong enough for them to deal, not have to deal with Europe no more, and deal with NATO, the NATO-based countries, which is basically Europe, Western Europe, and America and Canada. They don't got to deal with them. And that's right there is scaring a lot of these leaders, because they're seeing that they're losing out. And that's why, like I talked about with the chip thing with Taiwan, they don't want China to go and get back Taiwan as their own. And that's why they sent Nancy Pelosi over there, who caused up a stir. And now China has got their war stuff ready to invade Taiwan. They done surrounded the little island like at the few days after she left from over there. China went surround the island and started doing drills. I'm talking about, they talking about drills like they had never seen before over there, man. Like doing some crazy stuff around there in the waters right off the coast of Taiwan, man.
Because Esau can't keep it himself at home.
That's
like it tells you in Habakkuk too.
I got it right here. That's what I was finna get.
Go ahead, Al.
But I was gonna get something else, but I had my finger on Habakkuk too.
God.
I'm gonna just start. I'm gonna read this one first. This is the book of Habakkuk chapter 2 and verse 3. For the vision is yet for an appointed time, but at the end it shall speak and not lie. Though it tarry, wait for it, because it will surely come. It will not tarry. So, like we first started off about the Most High, say He's gonna gather these nations in the land of Jehoshaphat, man. You know, that's the land of Yahweh judgment.
That's right.
That's what Jehoshaphat means. And whenever he does that, I mean, it's gonna happen. But it's a particular time in the prophecy when it's gonna occur. And the Most High is building it up to when it's gonna come to that certain time, man. And that's what Habakkuk was speaking about. You know, just wait on it. It's gonna happen in due season. It's gonna happen. You know, that's what Habakkuk is saying. This is the book of Habakkuk, chapter 2 and verse 6. Shall not all these take up a parable against him, and a taunting proverb against him, and say, woe to him that increases that which is not his?
Go to that.
How long? And to him that laden himself with thick clay. Shall they not rise up suddenly, that shall bite thee, and a weight that shall vex thee, and thou shalt be for booties unto them? Because thou hast spoiled many nations, all the remnant of thy people, of the people, shall spoil thee.
Yep.
Because of men's blood, and for the violence of the land of the city, and of all that dwelt therein.
Yeah, man. He said that increaseth on that which is not his.
Yep.
Esau is so greedy, he keeps taking and taking
That's right,
away
man.
from other nations, man.
That's right.
He said, thou hast spoiled many nations, and now they are going to come up against you because of men's blood that you shed.
Yep.
You've been dropping bombs everywhere.
Right.
You've been poisoning everything.
Right.
You've been destroying people. You've been having people having to be refugees all over the world because of all the wars that you start off.
Yeah.
And then after a while, they're going to be like, oh no, we're going to turn the tables on him. This guy's doing too much. He still want more?
And
We done gave him all this stuff, he done gave more, he still won't stop?
Yeah.
It tells you that in Obadiah.
I got it.
Oh, go ahead.
Got it right here. This is Obadiah 1 and 5. If these came to thee, if robbers by night, how art thou? Let me go up some more. Oh, that's it. If these came to thee, if robbers by night, how art thou cut off? Would they not have stolen till they had enough? If the grape gatherers came to thee, would they not leave some grapes?
Yep.
Esau grabbing the grapes off the ground, man.
Yep.
The grapes that fall off the vine to the ground, he gathered them.
Yep.
You know, a robber come to your house, a robber can't take everything, but Esau can.
Yep.
Esau gonna take everything out your house, man. He gonna take your little baby, he gonna take the bath water, he gonna take everything, he taking it out.
Yep.
That's a thief, man. That's a real thief.
Real thief, yeah.
By nature, man.
He's a kleptomaniac.
Yeah, that's right.
A kleptomaniac is somebody that can't keep themselves from stealing.
And if this book ain't talking about Esau, then I don't know who it is,
Come on, man.
If he ain't talking about the so-called white man on this earth, I don't know who else he talking about.
Yep. Hey, and that's why when these leaders in these other nations, when they do trade with Esau, they always Esau's always finding a way, he's always trying to angle himself to get more. Is always to get more.
That's right.
He want more than what he should be getting.
Yep.
And they're seeing their trade deficit, and they're seeing their currency devaluing. They seeing their currencies devaluing against the dollar, and they're like, damn, we done gave this guy all this stuff, all these resources. We done gave our little boys and girls, because you know Esau, these trade people, these Edomite businessmen, when they go to these countries, they gonna get like a supply of they're pedophiles.
Yep.
So they're gonna get little areas in these countries where they can do their pederasty, right?
Straight pedophiles, bro.
And they're gonna get the other resources of money that they're making, whether it's natural resources, other forms of trade. So they looking at their value and their currency like, damn, our stuff's going down, their stuff keeps going up. So now these contracts, a lot of people understand when you do these business contracts, you do it based on the dollar, because it's known as the reserve currency. So what happens is when they make these dollar-based contracts, as you're doing business in these other countries with Esau, your dollar, your value of your currency goes through inflation against the dollar. Yep. So now you actually got to give more just to make up for that contract value of what y'all signed up for, and that's why it becomes a form of theft. And these countries go through great trade deficits. and then they'd be hurting. And then the leaders at the top, their money that they were, squandering, because these leaders, these other countries, they're corrupt themselves, their money's becoming less. So now when they go up against each other to split that pie amongst all the elites of those countries, they're like, man, we ain't got enough. Hey, where's my 10 million at? Like, man, we ain't made that money. What do you mean we ain't made that money? Well, we owed America this, that, and the other. So now the money that they was getting, they can't get it the way they want to. So now they got to go and seek after other trade partners to better their economic standing, and that's how they're choosing China, Russia. They're going to BRICS. They're setting up. They have something called the Benton's Road, the Benton's Road Initiative, which is the new Silk Road. You can look some of this stuff up. The Belt and Roads Initiative, which is the new Silk Road, dealing with the trade with China and how it's connected to all these different countries. Man, they set up a whole it's an economic system that's being set to decouple itself from the West. And like the brother brought out, this man kept stealing, and you would think that he would be good enough. This guy just can't stop doing it, man.
Yeah, that's right, man. And these other countries, they fed up with it.
Fed up.
They fed up, man. It's time for a new era, man. Time for some new leadership to come in. All great kingdoms fall. And this place got to go too. It's no different from Babylon, from the Grecian Empire, the Roman Empire. It's no different, man. This place got to go.
Got something?
No. I was looking for it, I just couldn't find it.
This is Isaiah chapter 33 and verse 1. Woe to thee that spoilest, and thou wast not spoiled, and dealest treacherously, and they dealt not treacherously with thee. When thou shalt cease to spoil, thou shalt be spoiled. And when thou shalt make an end to deal treacherously, they shall deal treacherously with thee. So now when they start seeing, when these Edomites start seeing that the tables is turning on them, then they're gonna want to come to the negotiation. Oh, okay, look, we'll stop doing what we're doing. Let's make a deal. Oh no, ain't no deal being made no more.
That's it.
It's time to go to war.
It's time to go to war, man.
Ain't no more deal. You was dealing with us badly for the last 500 years. And we done bent over backwards all these centuries to make amends for to do everything you said we do, and you're still doing us wrong. You're still dealing with us with your World Bank and your central banking system that you control. You're making us take all this debt upon us so you can control us. Nah, no more.
They know this man's a liar. That's why they done with it, man. A liar and a thief, man. And a murderer.
Right. And now they're gonna turn on you. Because now after they done switch the game on you, they're gonna try and come to the negotiation table. They probably gonna have the UN Assembly, I believe, is every August or September. This coming August and September, the world leaders is gonna be in a round table, and they're gonna be trying to talk about what to do with this whole Russia-China situation. What do we do? And Russia and China is gonna be like, we ain't freaking coming to the table with you the same way no more. And if other nations are like, and the West gonna be like, hey, what do y'all think? They're gonna say, we ain't gonna say nothing right now. And then when they go and they're gonna have the meetings with Russia and China, right? And they're gonna say, we with you. And the thing about it is Russia got to do it because a house divided against itself shall not stand. So the Most High is allowing Russia to also set up the demise of the whole downfall of the whole nation of Edom. That's why at the end of the day, Russia has to be the last empire according to prophecy.
That's right.
When the Most High comes, because when Babylon falls, with the destruction of Babylon, the superpower that's going to be viewed as the legit one is going to be Russia.
That's right.
As the main superpower, because they're really the ones that's spearheading the fall against NATO.
That's right.
Because they're on the front lines of Europe against NATO.
Thus said the Lord. That's right. But inevitably, Yahawashi gonna take down all these nations, man, when he comes.
That's right.
They gonna all have to bow the knee to the Most High God, man. That's right. Whenever he comes. This is the book of Isaiah, chapter 34 and verse 1. Come near, ye nations, to hear, and hearken, ye people. Let the earth hear, and all that is therein, the world and all things that come forth of it. For the indignation of the Lord is upon all nations. For the indignation of the Lord is upon all nations, and his fury upon their armies. He has utterly destroyed them. He has delivered them to the slaughter.
Come on, man.
Like we brought out in the beginning, that Joel 3, the Most High gonna gather all these nations, and then he's gonna destroy them.
All right.
Joel and Isaiah on the same page, man. They speaking these prophecies. They speaking, like Habakkuk said, these prophecies shall come to pass, man. Just tarry. Like, wait, you gonna see. They gonna come to pass in their time. Whenever that certain time hit, the Most High gonna be like, okay, it's on. And these nations gonna be gathered into one area, man, and they gonna be judged. And how he gonna be judged is how he gonna destroy them, man. He says he's gonna destroy their armies, man. They strong point, they muscle. He gonna destroy them. And guess how? He say he ain't gonna use no weapons.
Yep.
He gonna use the breath out of his mouth.
All right.
The scriptures say that the Most High gonna breathe fire and a tempest. Yahawashi gonna breathe fire and a tempest out his mouth, man, and destroy all of them at once. And once the smoke clear, it's gonna be a pile of dust.
Yep.
They're gonna be a pile of dust and ashes, man.
It tells you that in Isaiah.
Thus said the Lord.
He's gonna bring the birds to feast on the flesh of the slain.
That's it. And
of the slain men.
they're gonna be eating cooked flesh.
Man, that's a great horror movie.
Hey, I just thought of that. That flesh gonna be cooked.
Man, Most High gonna make a horror movie.
You gonna have a lion and everything coming smelling that meat, man. You gonna be like, oh Lord, they got a real feast going on.
No, because them birds.
Yeah.
He's gonna call the birds.
The birds.
They come these birds to have a feast upon these mighty men.
Wow.
Man, it's straight horror
Be
movie.
heavy, man.
These other nations gonna be like,
That's gonna be heavy.
they're gonna be fake when they see the freaking images, like, oh, damn. They're gonna see them soldiers just burned up. And them birds just
everywhere.
Birds just pecking on the flesh.
I think they're moving birds or something. Why is that?
Then it said in there after the flesh has been ate up, he's gonna have them have to go into there and bury their bodies.
They gonna bury their own dead.
Man.
Ain't that something, man? That's power right there, man. That's true power. And that's the power that everybody that walk on this earth gonna be up under. Every knee shall bow. I don't care who you is. I don't care who you believe in. But you gonna bow down to the Most High God. I don't care how much money you got, how much power you got. You gonna bow down to the Most High God Yahweh in those days.
Right.
Thus said the Bible, man. All the prophets spoke about this. So we know it's gonna come to pass, man. The Most High word don't return void. If he spoke it, it's gonna come to life in the future, man. Thus said the Lord.
Come on, bro.
That's
That's
all on it.
really it. You don't need anything else.
In the Matthew.
Yeah, go ahead. Yeah, I got it. And we're gonna get deeper into this topic.
Yeah.
And stuff goes on, man, but
It's so many precepts in that on these last days, man, and the fall of Babylon, man. It's ridiculous.
Yeah, we're gonna have to do like we're gonna do a lesson on like
we'll probably just do a formal lesson on basically the Great War.
Yep.
The war to end all wars, essentially. We go into house, going to go down, like the brother was already alluding to. We didn't bring out the precepts, but we're gonna go into all the precepts to show you how the Most High gonna set up the armies coming up, what's gonna happen, what they're gonna do, what Yahawashi gonna do, what the angels gonna do, how the elect gonna get delivered, all that stuff.
That we can name it fall of Babylon to the what? Second power, third power, or second power.
Yeah.
Fall of Babylon to the second power.
Good.
Because whether you believe it or not, America is Babylon, according to the Bible.
Right.
That's right. And Babylon of old, and now you got Babylon right now to this day.
This is Matthew chapter 26 and verse 6. Now when Yahawashi was in Bethany in the house of Simon the leper, there came unto him a woman having an alabaster box of very precious ointment, and poured it on his head as he sat at meat. But when his disciples saw it, they had indignation, saying, to what purpose is this waste? For this ointment might have been sold for much and given to the poor. When Yahawashi understood it, he said unto them, why trouble ye the woman? For she hath wrought a good work upon me. For ye have the poor always with you, but me ye have not always. For in that she had poured this ointment on my body, she did it for my burial. Verily I say unto you, wheresoever this gospel shall be preached in the whole world, there shall also that this woman had done be told for memorial of her.
That we want to give all the glory and all the honor and all the praise to the Heavenly Father Yahweh, in the name of His Son Yahawashi. Peace and salutation to the brothers that's doing this work in truth and sincerity. Shalom.